Namaste. Today we're going to play with the crow pose. We'll do some asanas to get ready for the posture. This is a balanced posture that I will step you through, and we will also do some breathing. So the shiny skull breath, or the kapalabhati, is a breath where you use the diaphragm like a pump. So it's in its jellyfish position. It's relaxed, it's belled up. When it contracts, it pushes down. But with the kapalabhati breath, or the shiny skull breath, you're taking the exhale through the nose, and inhale just comes in naturally. So it's a when my diaphragm relaxes, the breath automatically gets vacuumed in. We push it out with a contraction. So we're going to do a little bit more of that, as well as an inner groin stretch, because you'll be using the groin to squeeze up into the sit bones, as well as a hip flexor stretch, because you'll be using these to squeeze up, as well as some techniques of balance when you're on your hands. The stretching techniques, primarily we would go through a whole session to get into the climatic part of the balance. We're not going to do this. This will be very short. But when you are already have done maybe some sun salutations and some practice, you take a kneel, you step here, and you reach towards the floor or some blocks. Open up the points 1 and 2, keep flexion in the ankle, and drop the leg away. I'll show you on the other side. You take a kneel. This is also posted on YouTube as the inner groin stretch. You peel open, reaching towards, keeping flexion here, keeps the knee safe, everything's in alignment, and you're dipping, stretching open. A nice hip flexor posture would be the this position when you're reaching. It's a crescent lunge, really stretching and opening the hip flexors here. You can take the arms with you. Breathe in, and then coming back forward, stretching the hand, or coming back and bringing the body forward, stretching the hamstrings here. Let's do the other side. Crescent lunge, stepping forward, making sure that the knee stays safe with the position of the back foot. Alignment here in the front, and if it pleases you, you can drop open, but you're keeping flexion in the foot. And opening up. Big hip flexor here. And coming back forward. If you want to go back and forth between the two, you can do the crescent lunge for the hip flexor, and then for the inner groin, you can come forward here. Kapalabhati breath. Place your hands in a breath mudra. It's just for funsies. Here, 1, 2, 3, and then the 1. And you're pumping each exhale, and it just draws in naturally. In and out. This is a stimulating breath. And because we're working with the lower 3 chakras, we're going to stimulate them, because in the crow posture, we're going to be squeezing all the front of our body. So when you're in your crescent lunge, you're opening, opening, opening. When you're in your forward inner groin stretch, closing, closing. That is an exhale. Inhale as you open the body. Exhale as you close the body. So to put the two together, crescent lunge, opening, and exhaling. You can drop away if that feels good. Opening. Have some padding for the back knee if you need it. Exhale. Other side. We can do a transition of the cat and cow here. Stepping, reaching open, and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. There's other postures that can lead into this. You can go and do some binding, twisting, whatever feels good. And then we come back to breath. You can go in a kneeling position. You can go in an easy seated position, finding mudra in your hands. And we'll do this 10 times. In. In. Out all the way. And kapalabhati 10 times. In. And out. One more round. The exhales are longer than your inhale. And ready. Inhale. Exhale, heart center. So you can put those postures together in a flow, do what your body wants to do if it needs to do some more stretching, and coming back to posture, coming back to breath. So for the crow pose in technique, the reason we want to create some flexibility is because we're going to be in this squatting position, okay? This squatting position here. So no, not necessary to put the heels on the ground. If you can, that's great, but I think that we're going to get some reach, and so feel comfortable rolling onto the balls of the toes. If your toes are tight, you just might be here for a moment. So I'm going to go sideways to show you some technique. You're going to be rising in this position. Okay, so you're going to start lifting the tailbone as you feel the arch in your feet. Okay. Now whenever we do inversions, we need to keep the nose scooped up. So keep the C curve. Instead of going into an upside down forward fold, you're going to keep the C curve in your neck. And just let the back do its thing. Sometimes the legs, the feet will splay out. So when I rise, I'm a little bit more on the instep of my knees. Okay, and when I rise, they might roll out. That's okay if it feels all right in your knees, because we want our knees to eventually get up here. You might see some crow postures more on the outside of the hand. I like them here more in the tripod of my muscle triangle. It's a lot like when we go into tree pose and we put the heel into this triangle of the thigh and the groin. We're going to put our knee in the triangle of the deltoid and the tricep. So this requires some hand starring, okay, so starfished hands. And we're going to slightly grip as if we had some claws. And we lift, spread open, and see if you can get the knees back here. So I'm going to back up so I can be in frame. Lifting, nose is up. Lean forward and see if you can find that spot. Nose up. And then see if we can get to the tips of the toes. Maybe you can touch your toes. Okay? So the next part, once you kind of feel like you can maintain that balance, is going to be in the fingers. Like the toes will grip, the fingers will grip. The nose stays up and the head stays the same. So then what we're going to do is, once we get that balance in, we're going to start squeezing and pulling the knees in towards the body. That's the hip flexor action. The groin is starting to curl around the sit bones as we lift them up. Okay? I'll stay in frame for you so you can see the head. Okay, toes. And then lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. If you'd like to try it again, we can crow like a crow, just for fun. Okay. All right, breathing in. Let's open the body real quick. So that's a lot of squeezing. So we would go into a kneel. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You can do your Ujjayi breath here as well. And then the other side. Kneeling. And then exhale. And then getting ready for the crow. There's a squat. Feet peel apart. Hands starfished here. Nose is up. Reaching. Squeezing, lifting. My tips of my fingers are gripping. And I say, "Ka! Ka!" And to come out, you just come here. You can go back into kneeling. This is a thunderbolt. And exhale. Good job. Okay. Let's do some kapalabhati. And then we'll do some calming breath. Mudra. Breath mudra. Breathing mudra. And exhale. Exhale all the way. Inhale. And now just exhale. Like you're gonna whistle. Inhale 4. Exhale 8. And we're done. So we could explore so much more, but today that was just it. Mwah. Thanks for joining.